Greetings, comic friends. It is Wednesday, and therefore time for TGIW. Thank God it is Wednesday. Oh, today has been a day. So today, the day of this recording, is the day that CGC dropped the bomb of service changes and price increases and all that stuff. It has been for those that own pressing businesses that also send in orders to CGC for their customers. It's been quite a day. It's been quite a day. But you know what? I think I'm going to make a video on just that on its own this weekend. I'll leave it for there. For today, we have new comics, and I got in a small order back from CBCS that I'll go ahead and go over as well in this video. So today, today is not, or this week, it's not as bad as last week. Last week was bad. Like, I have not finished reading. I still have a few things over here that need reading from last week. So, it was real bad. This is not as bad. It's a little bit more manageable, but we'll see. I really need to do some thinking on making some hard cuts again, because it's every time you make cuts, it's harder and harder because you got to cut down stuff that you didn't want to cut last time because it's just so good. But it is what it is, right? All right, so we got Alien #2. I absolutely loved this first issue. I'm real excited for the story. I think they're doing Aliens in a really in a way that respects the movie franchise that exists. You know, previous comics like the Dark Horse comics and all that stuff, they are fun. They are definitely a product of 90s comicdom, which didn't necessarily align with what I felt was the spirit of the movies. I love reading them. I think they're super fun. They're in the so bad they're good sort of area. So I do enjoy them. But you definitely don't really... It's hard to picture them in the actual Alien universe. So far, what I've read, this is just one issue, but what I've read of Marvel's take on it, I think it's going to be right in there. I'm really excited about it. Eternals 4. This again, you know what? Like I said, like I've made cuts. It's like everything that I show here is like it's good, because it has to be, because if it wasn't, I'd have cut it because I'm reading too much. So yes, it's all good. That being said, Eternals #4. Eternals is good. And it's a mini. It'll eventually be over. Speaking of minis that will eventually be over, haha. This is issue 4. Only 2 more to go. This is actually a mini. I would be okay with it not being a mini and being an ongoing, just because it's so much fun. But I understand. How many stories do you have to tell about clowns? 6 seems like a reasonable number. So I understand stopping at 6. But I really do enjoy it. I did get both the regular A and B covers on this. I am cutting way back on variants. This I am getting both A and B regular covers. I'm not necessarily going out and getting ratios or retailer exclusives or anything like that, but I will get the A and B covers of haha. Knock 'em Dead #5. Every once in a while, and there might be 1 or 2 others in here, I like to talk about those little indie series that not enough people are reading, that I don't hear anyone else talking about. I don't know anyone else that reads it, but I'm reading it, and when I read it, I'm like, why are not more people talking about this? It's so good. I understand that, again, people can't read everything. People can't read as much as I do, or don't want to have to read as much as I do. Believe me, I 100% understand that. So you can't pick it all up, and, it's fine. I get it. It's really good. So if you have a little extra bandwidth and you like, I don't know, ghosty-ish stories, it's not horror, but it's just, I don't know, it's a fun ghost story. So basically there is a comedian who is not good that ends up getting possessed by the spirits of famous comedians, and he starts doing better. Post Americana, number 5. And this is just one of those weird, it's post-apocalyptic stories. It's weird. It's over the top. It continues to be fun. I think it's overlooked. Radiant Black, number 3. This is still sitting in the might get cut. It's just, I don't know. There's not enough here that makes it stand it apart from other things. I think I'll give it this 3rd issue, and if there's not something in here that really pulls me in more, I'll probably drop it. Spider-Woman, back in the red and yellow costume, which is fun. I really liked the black costume. I think it was really good. The last storyline kind of wrapped up. It's been really great. I really like Spider-Woman. I started reading this in sort of a whim. I think is when my pull list may have been a little bit lower. It's almost a year ago. So I picked it up, and I'd never read a lot of Spider-Woman before, but I decided to pick it up just to kind of see, like, oh, maybe it's good. I like checking in on these B-list characters every once in a while, because I don't feel like they get enough love, and I'm excited when they get their own book. Even if it's not a character that I particularly love, I know there's someone out there that does, and that makes me happy that they are getting maybe who's their favorite character who happens to be a B or C list character. So I'll pick it up to at least see what it's about, and support, if not anything in support of the character, in support of the people that like the character. But I ended up really, really enjoying this, so I held on to it. Stray Dogs 3. This is another book that I think more people are reading this than some of the other ones that I mentioned. But it is definitely in that if you're not reading it, you should be reading it. At the very least, wait for the trade. I understand. It's not everyone's as into individual issues, and some things read better as trades, and this might be one of them. But don't let it drop off your radar. It is so good. It is a cutesy, animated, awful horror story. Not as in ghost horror, but like just straight up murder horror. But it's really good. Women of Marvel number 1. So this is a one shot. I decided to pick this up for a couple of reasons. One, the Momoko cover. It's so good. Some people think she's overrated. She's real popular, obviously. I like her because I like her. I think her art is great. I think it's something different. It's something fresh, at least as far as American audiences are concerned. So I will continue to support it. I also got it because it is a focus on Women of Marvel, which I think is great to have an issue that focuses just on women, something that will speak to an underrepresented section of people in comics, and also it was just a one shot, so it's a one and done. So I didn't feel guilty about picking it up. This one I feel kind of guilty about picking up. Lila Star, number 1. I have no idea what this is about, but the cover was shiny and it was Mac as the artist of the cover. So I was like, well, there's literally nothing I can do to avoid buying this book. Is it good? I don't know. Is it even about something I'm interested in? I don't know. I was pulled in by the shiny. 100% admit. At least I know my flaws and own up to them. Ultra Mega number 2. the first issue, it was fantastic. I picked up issue 1 with these new series coming out. I very rarely subscribe to them before the first issue comes out. So, yeah, I want to subscribe to that series. I will pre-order the number 1 and then read it and then decide. This one, I read it and immediately yep, subscribe to the rest. It's really, really good. You Promised Me the Darkness. This is published by Behemoth. It just sounded really cool. It looks really cool. It's a horror. There's so much horror going on, and it's so much horror that is really good. So anything that is horror, I will at least give the first issue a shot. So far, I really haven't been disappointed. So why not continue with that? If I'm having success, then just continue on that path, right? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 116. Have the nice Eastman beat cover. With Jenica and Burgatar, I guess. I don't quite remember where we left off in the previous issue because the last Turtles book I read was the last issue of Jenica 2, which was really good. So my when I think about what's going on in Turtles, it just kind of snaps into what happened in Jenica 2. But suffice to say, the Turtles ongoing has been amazing. Amazing Spider-Man number 64. I say it every week when Spider-Man stuff is out. Spider-Man's been better. I wish it would get better again. I will say that I read the second issue of Nonstop Spider-Man, and when I went over that issue in last week's TGIW, I had said how disappointed I was in issue 1 of Nonstop Spider-Man. I really liked issue 2. I think maybe I had gone into issue 1 with some other thoughts of what I thought it was going to be or what I wanted it to be. So it was kind of spoiled. But when I read issue 2, I knew more what I was expecting and was able to enjoy it for what it is, not what I thought it was supposed to be or going to be. But issue 2, I did really enjoy. Maybe I should go back and read issue 1 with a fresh set of eyes. I don't know. Should I and will I are two different things because I don't have time to go back and read issue number 1 because of everything else that he's read. But I can take in new information and change my mind. It's something I am capable of doing. I took in the new information of Nonstop Spider-Man number 2, and I'm on board. I'm on board. This still needs to get better. This still kind of sucks. And then I picked up the the glow in the dark Geiger number 1. So Geiger number 1 came out last week, the week before last week. I can't remember. But I really liked it. And then this I don't know if they're calling it a second print or just some special variant. But you can maybe see it, but it glows in the dark. I thought it was kind of cool. So I picked that up. And it looked sort of like a limited thing. So, didn't do too bad. This is obviously, you count this as a variant because I've read it already. And one variant, haha. But other than that, it's all no variants. Did a good job. Fairly reasonable stack. I would like to see it maybe closer to there. So 4 or 5 books shorter. But maybe we'll get there. Today's not that day. But maybe we'll get there. All right. Oh, something else I picked up at one of the stores. I got a Cornelius Migo. So, I picked up a number of Migos from an estate sale. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them. I think I've decided to keep most of them, and start a little Mego collection. It's something I've been thinking about for a while, thinking about doing, and then I just unexpectedly found these Migos at an estate sale and picked them up. And was like, well, I guess I've been thinking about it. If I'm going to do it, now would be the time, because I was able to pick up a bunch of them for a good price. So I decided that, some of the Marvel ones I'll get, and I really like Planet of the Apes, so I'm going to get some of the Planet of the Apes ones. There's some others that I might get. They had some other properties that I really like that you may not expect. There's some Wizard of Oz Migos out there. I really like Wizard of Oz. I might get some of those. I don't know. We'll see. But one of my stores had Cornelius in really, really good shape for a decent price. So I picked him up. All right. So then I got in a CBCS order. It was a small one. I'm trying to think why. Oh, they were running a sale, and there was a customer of mine that wanted to get a couple of books out on that sale. And there wasn't a lot of time to get a lot of stuff on it. So I was doing his books, and since I was sending those out, like, you know what, I can slap together a few books to throw on there. And then again, it sort of he's a local customer, so when I have local customers, I'm able to put our orders together and sort of save all of us on shipping, which is kind of nice. So he had 2 books. I was able to come up with 3 books real quick. So it's a small 5-book order, but we needed to get it out quick at the time to get on the sale, and yeah. So I'll go over his stuff first. He's got some good stuff. So his Green Lantern 4 came back a 6.5, pretty good for a Silver Age book, an early Silver, like 1961. So 6.5. That's a really good grade for that. I'm sure he'll be happy with it. This next one, I think he said this is his son's that he gave to me to clean press and send in. It's a good book. Marvel Spotlight number 5, first appearance of Ghost Rider. Came back a 3.5, which is not wholly unexpected. There's a pretty good like tear along this that goes up the spine there. Color break increases. A lot of color break going on, just kind of all over the cover. You see kind of there and whatnot. There's a little missing. This is probably a big deal here. A little missing chip right there. But it's one of those good books to have. It's good to have it in any grade, right? So he sent in those 2 older books, a silver and a bronze. I sent in some moderns, and I didn't pre-screen these, but it turns out that's okay. So, Immortal Hulk number 20. This is one of the Aspen Comics exclusives. Super cool. And then Immortal Hulk 20, the other Aspen comic exclusive. They both came back as 9/8, so I was real happy about that. The reason that I didn't pre-screen these is because I wanted to make sure that I had them both slabbed. I didn't want to pre-screen them at 9/8 and one come back passing as a 9/8 and the other to come back raw, because I wanted to display them both up in slabs. So I decided, it doesn't matter what they come back as. I know they're going to look good. I'll be able to put them up because we're about due for a wall swap out, so we'll do that. But it's basically the same image, but Gray Hulk and Green Hulk. The Gray Hulk is in Las Vegas, so sort of a Joe Fix-It sort of thing. I found these at a local shop for cheap, cheap. And I really, really liked them, especially as the pair. So I picked them up, pressed them, sent them in, and 9/8. Hooray. The third one I sent in, so I bought this book from Adrian APM, also known as Solid High the Comic Guy. I bought it from him raw, just because it's TMNT. It was Peach Momoko. It was a virgin. It's just a banging cover, so I picked it up from him. Pressed it and sent it in. Yeah, I didn't pre-screen this either. I didn't have any doubts of it really coming back as a 9/8. Same as the other ones. There wasn't anything to make me think it wouldn't be a 9/8. But it was one of those where it's like, you know what? If this came back a 9/2, I'd be okay, because I'm not reselling it or anything. I just want to display it in the slab. So whether or not it hits the 9/8, I still want it slabbed. So I didn't pre-screen any of those. But ended up with the 9/8s anyway. Don't get me wrong, I love that they came back 9/8s. That's obviously the preferred thing. That's just why I didn't pre-screen them, because I would have been okay with them coming back lower. This is, if you're interested, this is it's Comic Tom exclusive. More importantly, it's the Momoko art, but it's Comic Tom. That is it. It was a pretty good week as far as stuff goes, I suppose. Good new pickups today. Really happy with all of the slabs that came in today. So all the CGC business aside, it was a good day. I'll continue to deal with that as it happens, and I'll talk about it more probably in a video this weekend, so stay tuned for that. But please like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. And of course, don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.